eliminated on 17th and 18th, and today we have eliminated Mudassir of Mandura village, Tral, a local terrorist. Along with him, the search is still going on, and ascertaining the bodies and the identity of the other terrorists is still going on. However, the initial input suggests there was also a terrorist who has been eliminated by a codename Khalid of Pakistan, JEM. As I was telling you, out of 18 terrorists killed so far, 8 are Pakistanis and 10 are the local terrorists, including 2 of Haliti and 2 of Hizbul Mujahideen. And again, I would like to reinforce here, our main emphasis after the 14th of February convoy attack was elimination of the JEM leadership, and we have been very successful in doing that in about 3 weeks' time ever since that time. The terrorists killed in yesterday's operation in Pinglish, it was on a specific intelligence of sources wherein we cordoned this house, and in an operation which lasted overnight and the day, this terrorist was eliminated. There was not a scratch on 2 armed forces. And I would like to assure once again that operations against the foreign terrorists and the JM leadership will continue till we eliminate all of them. I would now like to request IGP Kashmir and IGP CRPF to give their initial comments. Thereafterwards, we will be open to questions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yesterday's operation, in which Mudassir Ahmad Khan got eliminated, was definitely a very significant operation. It is doubly significant for the CRPF because Mudassir was involved in the 31st December 2017 Lethpura camp attack, as well as the attack on our convoy on the 14th of February. I congratulate all the security forces involved in this operation. It was a very clean operation. And but our job is still not done. Very important players in the dramatis personae still remain. The people who motivated and radicalized Mudassir Khan, the people, the criminals who supplied him with explosives and other means to effect these attacks would be dealt with. We are working in close coordination with the National Investigative Agency, the NIA, and I'm sure sooner than later the rest of these players who are involved in this attack on our convoy shall be dealt with. That's all. And lastly, I would like to also comment that following the 14th February attack on our convoy, there was a lot of support from people from all over the country, including Kashmir. The CRPF is deeply indebted and we acknowledge it very humbly. Thank you.
As it is already mentioned that Mudassir was actually wanted for a lot of crimes, terror crimes, that those things have been committed in that belt. Since 1 year he was active, and the modus operandi they adopted was basically trying to recruit youngsters in the belt, and Mudassir was wanted for that. Initial input on Mudassir started surfacing a year ago, then subsequently he joined Jaish-e-Mohammed, and today the elimination of this group, particularly in last fortnight, the kind of operation that those things have taken place against Jaish-e-Mohammed, a significant dent has been caused to the outfit. Also, I would also highlight the recruitment part. The recruitment part in last 3 months have significantly come down, which all statistics show. And regarding this module, their motivation and the way they were operating, they were trying to recruit people, we are investigating. There are different cases which are registered. I did not go into the details of the crime profile of these people, but at the outset I can say there are serious investigations which are going against these outfits. Also, the National Investigation Agency is doing the investigation of this particular case. So the material and other details which we have obtained from this case shall be shared with the National Investigation Agency in pursuance of their investigation of the case. Regarding the encounter site, as it was mentioned, the search is still underway. There are materials which we are trying to collect, and as soon as the search is over and the two identities which have come, one Mudassir is confirmed, the other identity which we have received is Code Khalid, who is a Pakistani terrorist apparently of Jaish-e-Mohammed. So we are working on that. As soon as we get some further detail on this, we shall share with the media.
Sir, I would like to ask. Please introduce yourself and we will be out to you. So, Dheeraj from Republic. The first thing is, yesterday Army claimed 3 militants neutralized, but in the evening JKP press is claiming 2 militants neutralized. Kindly clear the air whether 2 were neutralized or the 3. The other thing that I would like to ask is that in Pulwama attack, you have pointed out about this Mudassir who was the main conspirator, then Sajad whose vehicle was being used. How many local militants were actually involved in Pulwama?
Okay, first of all, second part of the question, how many militants or how many local terrorists were involved in the Pulwama case? Ma'am, that's a matter of investigation. As of now, there are a lot of positive leads, credible leads which are being investigated upon. So I would not be, it would not be fair on my part to reveal any details of the Pulwama attack theory. Now secondly, as to how many terrorists, like I have also said, and IGP has also said, the search is still going on. The house was brought down, the house has come down, and there is a debris which are there. The search is still going on. The 3 weapons have been recovered. A few body parts in different parts have been recovered, and positive identity of Mudassir has been ascertained. The body has been claimed by the parents. The body has also been buried. The other one is a Khalid, codename Khalid by Pakistan. That has been ascertained. However, the details are still being ascertained. As and when we get the full details of the number of terrorists killed and the number of bodies recovered, we would be coming back to you. Since Mudassir was the main target, that's how we thought it would be better on our part to come to the press and give you the details so that speculations can end.
So my name is Farid. I represent Times Television Network, Times Now and Now. My question is regarding this guy Mudassir. Was he someone who made that IED, or is he someone who just arranged that vehicle and got all those explosives to ensure that someone makes an IED? Can you clear the air on that? And number 2, sir, about convoy movement, we've seen that there's a kind of uneasy air whenever convoy moves, and the people are complaining that it should be made more friendly. We can understand you have your constraints, but we've seen that even in areas in the past been very safe, like Srinagar, interiors, whenever a convoy moves, suddenly complete traffic is stopped. We saw today that even patients going to the hospital, they couldn't reach. So can't we just make it more friendly for the people? Because it seems that the perception is people feel that we are at kind of a war, or there is something that's out of control, although we know that everything is under control. So can't we do something about the convoy movements, at least?
What was the first part of your question?
About Mudassir, that was he the one?
Okay. Gentlemen, Mudassir was the main conspirator of the Pulwama attack on the Letpura COB, as also the Pulwama convoy attack. Now, again, who was the person who fabricated the ID, who is the person who initiated, who is the person, is again a matter of investigation, and the details are still under investigation, so I would not like to divulge those. But I would like to say here, Mudassir was one of the main conspirators who helped and who coordinated the whole thing of the Pulwama convoy attack. Coming to the point about the convoy and the way civilian traffic is monitored or civilian traffic is controlled when the convoy movement is happening, here I would like to clarify one thing. I also observe it, I take a report every day. The convoy movement is known to the people who are doing the road opening, and the civilian traffic is stalled or told to stop only for a very short while. And when the convoy passes that point on ground, the civilian traffic is allowed to move. It is not that the civilian traffic is told to stop for hours altogether. It's only for a few minutes that traffic is halted, and when the convoy passes that place, the civilian traffic is allowed to freely move around. So, point about the harassment and all, I think it's not true, it's a propaganda, but I would again request through the media, all my civilian friends, that please cooperate with the security forces for those 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes of delay at the maximum, And at the same time, since the convoy timings are generally known, if you feel you are going for a long drive or a faraway destination, please adjust your timings accordingly so that you have the minimum disturbance en route to your place of journey.
Sir, Kamalji from India today. My question is to Zulfikar and SP Pani. First, I'll come to you, sir. Do you believe 40 men who were killed, their deaths have been avenged now with the killing of Mudassir? And second, what are the lessons which have been learned from the Pulwama incident?
I would not like to use the word like avenge. The CRPF has lost more than 2,000 men since it came into being. Ours is a continuous fight. We are known as the peacekeepers of the nation. Our mission is to establish peace. Anyone who raises the gun against the country obviously is our enemy and will be dealt with accordingly. And as far as the results of, or the lessons as you said of the attack, the convoy, well, we are continuously learning our lessons. After the convoy attack, as you know, the one which you talked about, the civilian traffic was stopped. Certain other measures which I would not like to discuss have also been initiated. So we learn and we draw lessons from everyday affairs, including yesterday's operation.
So my question for SP Pani is, you are saying lesser number of militants are now joining ranks. How do you really suggest that? What is the total number of militants currently operating? How many are foreign and how many are local of them? And if specifically you can give us details regarding Jaish Mohammed.
No, we will not be able to give you the exact numbers. As I said, it's operational details. But as we all know, whenever people join terrorism, they just flash their photographs and other thing, and the villages also get to know. A missing person report is registered. On the basis of that, it is all in the open domain. You can see the recruitment in last 3 to 4 months, actually it has significantly come down. That is what our contention is.
Sir, related question. पूरा हमले के बाद 2 वीडियोस सामने आए थे जिसमें लोगों ने बोला था कि वो फिदाई बनने जा रहे हैं. तो कितने ऐसे लड़के हम देख रहे हैं जो एक्टिव होंगे कश्मीर में, जिन पे आपकी नजर है, और खासतौर पर जैश मोहम्मद के कितने फिदाई हमलावर लोकल लड़के कश्मीर में होंगे?
नंबर की बात जहां तक आप बोल रहे हैं, जैसे आपने बोला 2 वीडियो सरफेस किए, और यू नो व्हाट हैपेंड टू दोस 2 वीडियोस. एक जो उसमें आया था वो कुलगाम एनकाउंटर में वो मारे गए था. दूसरे बात जो है, अभी जो नेक्स्ट जो वीडियो आया है वो भी उसका ऑथेंटिसिटी वी आर ट्राइंग टू चेक. ऑल्सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर आर malicious campaign in the social media trying to actually superimpose images and trying to create this kind of pure psychosis. So we should not go by that. These videos are subject to investigation. We are doing it and we shall get back to you on this.
Sir, my question is that about the Pulwama attack. You know, all the people who are the conspirators in the attack, are they now being assassinated, or are there still people who are out there? And also about the videos and the Jaish militants, we're only seeing that Jaish militants are being targeted in almost all the encounters that took place in the recent past. Does that mean that Lashkar and his are hardly they are active on the ground? It's only the Jaish which is there. So have they gone in hiding?
Okay, first of all, about the people who were eliminated of the Pulwama convoy attack, as I said in my initial remarks, the main conspirators, that is Kamran and Mudassir, who are the main heads of JEM, they have been eliminated, and we had gone very, very forcefully behind Jaish-e-Mohammed in the last 3 weeks. Aim was to eliminate them at the earliest so that they are not able to carry out any Pulwama-like attack again. So we have reasonably succeeded in that. Like I told you, in 21 days, we have eliminated 18 terrorists, and 14 of them from Jaish-e-Mohammed and 6 of them in Alpha Plus category. So that is the main focus of the security forces over the last 3 weeks, wherein we have gone behind Jaish-e-Mohammed and try to eliminate their top hierarchy so that Pulwama type of incident is not repeated. Now that is first. And second part of the question was? Okay, again, it's not that we have stopped looking at Lashkar and Hizbul Mujahideen. As I told you earlier, we have killed 2 of Lashkar and 2 of HM terrorists in these 3 weeks, and they are very much on our radar. And only thing is, we lay more focus on the Jaish-e-Mohammed for the obvious reason, so that they are not able to repeat an incident like that. Notwithstanding that, Lashkar and HM and other tanzeems operating in the valley, they are very much on our radar and the actions are being taken against them.
जैसी साहब, मेरा नाम रिफत है और मैं नेटवर्क 18 से हूँ और मेरा सवाल ये है कि लास्ट विलेज जो उरी साइड में एक है सिलीकोट में 2 साइड से फेंसिंग है, यानी कि जब उनको एंटर होना पड़ता है अपने विलेज में वहां पे भी फेंसिंग और बैक साइड से भी फेंसिंग। वहां के लोग काफी टाइम से मुतालबा कर रहे हैं कि वो फेंसिंग जो है रिमूव की जाए और उन्हें अपने विलेज में आसानी से आने जाने की इजाजत दी जाए। आर्मी को ही इजाजत देनी पड़ रही है आने की भी और जाने की भी काफी टाइम से, लेकिन आज तक कोई ये फैसला नहीं ले पा रहा है। इस तरह के कुछ और भी विलेजेस हैं जो ये कह सकते हैं कि रात को वो आर्मी के प्रिजन में होते हैं, तो क्या उनको प्रिजनर शिप से बाहर लाया जाएगा? क्या आपकी तरफ से कोई ऐसे जो है कदम उठाए जाएंगे, क्योंकि शायद कोई ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है, वहां के लोग काफी सारे लोग हैं, एक्स सर्विसमैन भी हैं।
First of all, I take offense to your words of prisoners of army. There's nothing like that. Please. Please. Okay. Notwithstanding that, जो villages फेंस के आगे हैं, क्योंकि फेंस एक एंटी इन्फिल्ट्रेशन सिस्टम है और उस एंटी इन्फिल्ट्रेशन सिस्टम को हर वक्त टाइट रखना और उसके ऊपर नजर रखना बहुत जरूरी है। लेकिन उन विलेजर्स को आर्मी उन विलेजर्स के हमसाया है वहां पे हम लोग। वी लिव विद देम, यू गो फॉर 1 day एंड यू फाइल अ रिपोर्ट। वी लिव विद देम 24/7 फॉर 365 days. They are like our families there, and we allow them at the time of their choosing as to when they want to come out. And there are instances at 2 in the night we have taken out the pregnant ladies carrying the cot on the shoulders of the Jawans. We care so much for our citizens in that area. So I think that sums it all.
आपसे यही आप उड़ी की बात चल रही है जो पिछले कुछ दिनों के दौरान लगातार सीज़फायर वायलेशन लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पे हुई है। तो पहली बार देखा गया है कि कश्मीर में भी जो है वहां पर भी ये हो रही थी उड़ी के सेक्टर का। तो लेटेस्ट स्टेटस जो है बिटवीन ऑन द सीज़फायर वायलेशन फ्रंट, व्हाट इज द स्टेटस इन द कश्मीर वैली ऑन द लाइन ऑफ फ्रंट? कहां पर कोशिश हुई और कहां पर आपने जवाब दिया है पाकिस्तानी फायरिंग?
ऑफ लेट, जैसे कि आपको मालूम है, कुछ दिन पहले भी उरी सेक्टर में पाकिस्तान ने अनप्रोवोक्ड फायरिंग की थी और कुछ हमारी सिविलियन कैजुअल्टी कमलकोट विलेज में हुई थी। परसों रात को भी फिर पाकिस्तान ने अनप्रोवोक्ड फायरिंग की है। फिर कमलकोट विलेज में 5 सिविलियन कैजुअल्टी हुई हैं और उन सिविलियन कैजुअल्टीज को फर्स्ट एड भी आर्मी ने दिया है, उनको वैक्यूएट भी आर्मी ने किया है और उसके लिए हम कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं ताकि जो सिविलियन कैजुअल्टी पाकिस्तान क्या कर रहा है, पाकिस्तान क्योंकि आर्मी को हिट नहीं कर पा रहा है तो इसलिए सिविलियन विलेजेस जो गांव बॉर्डर के साथ एलसी के साथ साथ है उनको हिट कर रहा है। एंड खास करके कमलकोट इन द लास्ट 2 काउंटर सीज़फायर वायलेशंस हैज कम अंडर ट्रेमेंडस फायरिंग फ्रॉम पाकिस्तानी साइड एंड civilian casualties have happened because of Pakistani firing, which is unprovoked. Notwithstanding that, Indian Army has given a befitting reply and we have hit their military targets from the where these weapons are firing in the counter to their ceasefire violations.
मेरा सवाल है कि रिसेंटली जो इंसिडेंट हुआ था उसके बाद क्योंकि या पाकिस्तान में मिलिटेंटों की मदद में कोई कमी आई है या सिर्फ पाकिस्तान दिखावाई के लिए ये सब कुछ कर रहा है?
I think इसके ऊपर नेशनल लेवल के ऊपर चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ, चीफ ऑफ एयर स्टाफ एंड द नेशनल लीडर्स हैव मेड लॉट ऑफ स्टेटमेंट्स एंड आई थिंक वी शुड गो बाय दैट एंड आई वुड बी हैप्पी इफ यू टॉक टू मी अबाउट 15 कोर एंड कश्मीर वैली.
Hi, I'm Samir Yas from New York Times newspaper. My question is that how many people are presently in Jaish in Kashmir Valley, and second is that have you realized in your last 2 encounters that there has been a lot of casualty of security forces in these 2 encounters? Have you realized that these guys are much more hardened than the people who are locally with, for example, the Kashmiri militants than the Pakistani militants? Because we saw in Handwara that the encounter lasted for a long thing. And I have a request, sir. I'm sorry, you said that it's a propaganda, but I think you should send somebody to the national highway and see how people are being harassed in the vehicles. This has nothing to do with the question, but just someone I personally felt it.
Okay, the last part of the question first. I don't have to send anyone. I got the whole of my army on the roads doing the ROP. And you all know it. You know it from the heart of heart. You're smiling also. That you don't have to wait for more than a minute and a half to 2 minutes. That sums up the third part. First, and coming back to the how many numbers in the valley, I think IGP Saab has already said this. These are operational details. We would not like to divulge it. But notwithstanding, suffices to say, in the last 3 months or so, the local recruitment has come down. And that's a good sign. And coming down to the another part of the question was the terrorist and our own casualties. I would like to take some time on this. Ladies and gentlemen, what happens is when the encounter starts, it's invariably in the last few encounters, it's in the built-up areas where a lot of civilians are there, where a lot of property is there. We take time and we make efforts to, first of all, evacuate all the civilians. We don't want a hostage situation. We don't want a situation where civilians are injured or suffer a loss of life or property in the crossfire. As a result, we take more precautions and we take more risks to evacuate the civilians before we actually go in for an actual firefight. And in that case, when we are trying to evacuate the innocent civilians, there are chances, if you see all the operations where the casualties have happened to us, it happened in the initial stages. Initial stages, because we are trying to take out the civilians, we are exposing ourselves, if I can use that word. And that is basically because we don't want the innocent civilians to get hurt, injured or killed in this type of an operation. So that is why the casualties which happened on our side happened because of that, but that will not deter us. We will continue to carry out our operations with surgical precision and giving all possible help and assistance and protection to the civilians.
So would you be at least able to say that whether their presence is much more in North Kashmir as compared to South Kashmir? At least can you say that?
So can I add a point in this, that can we say that after these operations their operational capability has been crippled to the extent that they cannot really carry out another Pulwama-like attack? Can we simply say that, right?
See, I cannot answer any hypothetical question. What I have told you is that the leadership of the JEM has been hit and hit very badly. And it is work in progress, and we are still continuing to do it. As we are sitting here now also, before I moved in, a very solid information had just come in. And that was why I am trying to tell you this is basically because it's a work in progress. I will not like to give any more details of that.
Wait. Kamalji, please. No, please wait, Kamalji, please.
Sir, this is Asif here. I work for News18 India. Sir, I have two questions, one for you and another for IG Kashmir. So first question pertains to your domain. You gave us details about the encounters and killing of militants in hinterland. What is the position at LOC? Because snow is melting down now. Do we felt any attempt of infiltration by militants from LC? And do you have any reports that there are camps of these launching pads around the LOC and militants, number of militants here they may try to infiltrate in parts of Kashmir?
Okay, as regards the situation on the line of control, I have told you in the 15 core zone, that is the Kashmir Valley line of control, the ceasefire violations are happening in the Uri sector. In the Uri sector, the ceasefire violations are happening, and I have given the details of that, and also the civilians being targeted unprovoked by the Pakistan Army and the civilian casualty which have happened. However, in the balance of the area, the snow levels are quite high, as you are aware, and in balance of the areas of 15 core zone, in the recent past, no ceasefire violation has happened. Coming to the point about the launch pads in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, yes, we have the information, and there are intelligence reports of terrorists waiting in the launch pads to infiltrate whenever they get a chance, and we are alive to it.
Sir, my next part of question is for IGP Kashmir. Sir, there are reports that government may announce kind of a rehabilitation policy for militants. Do forces support that policy? Like we were hearing that those militants who will surrender and come back to the mainstream, they will be given jobs or kind of a stipend. Do forces on ground realize or support that policy which is going to be announced by the government?
No, I will not be able to comment on the policy part, but yes, of course, there are a lot of these things are being considered. But what is important, which we have been reiterating from time and again, that in recruitment and all this thing, family plays a very important role. The family, the community, they play a very important role, and we have seen in past, wherever the family has actually wanted the people to come back, they have come back and they have led a very normal life. So that is a key factor. So we need to insist on that, and also as far as the government part is concerned, as I am given to understand, there are some things which are under consideration. So I am not the authority to comment on that, but I am aware that there are
तो सेना और सुरक्षा बल की ये साझा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस और इसमें कई खास बातें कह दी गई और ये बता दिया गया कि पाकिस्तान की जो नापाक हरकतें हैं उस पर लगातार वार सेना की तरफ से किया जा रहा है। 18 में से अभी तक 8 आतंकी पाकिस्तान के जिनका खात्मा हुआ है और 21 दिन में 18 आतंकी मारे गए हैं। सेना ने ये भी जानकारी दी है। जैश का आतंकी मुदस्सिर, जिसकी बात जो एक तरीके से कहा जाए पुलवामा आतंकी हमले में जो पूरा साजिश करता था, मुख्य साजिश करता था, उसे मार गिराया गया, उसे ढेर कर दिया गया। सेना यहां पर ये कहते हुए साथ ही साथ कश्मीरी लोगों को परिवार का हिस्सा बताती हुई सेना एक सवाल के जवाब में ये भी कहती हुई नजर आई। और पाकिस्तानी आतंकी खालिद भी ढेर, सभी पाकिस्तानी जो आतंकी हैं उन्हें एक एक कर मौत के घाट सेना उतार रही है। और जैश आतंकियों के खिलाफ जो ये कार्रवाई है, ये भी साफ कर दिया गया कि ये कार्रवाई अभी जारी है और ऐसे ही आतंकियों को ढेर किया जाएगा। हालांकि मुदस्सिर के सवाल पे एक बात उन्होंने ये भी, क्योंकि पूछा गया सवाल कि भाई आईडी जो उस मुदस्सिर के पास था वो कहां से पहुंचा उसके पास, उसके जवाब में भी ये कहा गया कि आईडी किस व्यक्ति ने उसको दिया, किस शख्स ने दिया, इन सब पहलुओं पर भी जांच हो रही है और उसके हिसाब से कोई भी व्यक्ति छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा। चुन चुनकर, यानी पुलवामा आतंकी हमले में जो भी आतंकी शामिल है उसे चुन चुनकर मारा जाएगा। सेना ने यह साफ कर दिया। 21 दिन में 18 आतंकी मारे गए। जैश के खिलाफ जो बिगुल बजा था वो अभी भी ऐसा ही बचता रहेगा और आतंकियों का खात्मा एक के बाद एक होता रहेगा।